So you're thinking of moving to Fort Worth, Texas. Well, in this video, we're going to be teaching you the ins and outs, the ups and downs of the central Fort Worth area. And if you stick around to the very end, I'm going to go against my better judgment and teach you guys about a little hidden gem of mine that we've got stowed away in central Fort Worth. So we finally did a video on Central Fort Worth. Before we start, I want to talk about Fort Worth a little bit. Fort Worth is huge, all right? If you guys don't know, it's the 12th largest city in the U.S., which is weird because some people don't actually even know Fort Worth exists. So they know about Dallas. Everyone knows about Dallas. They think Texas, they're like, oh yeah, Dallas, or Austin, or Houston, or something like that. No one ever thinks about Fort Worth. It's just really weird because, like, actually, if I have the map open right here, if you look at Fort Worth, it's right next to Dallas. Like, if you know about Dallas, you should know about Fort Worth, but people don't. Like, we hide in their shadow on the national scale and whatnot. And I think that's starting to not be the case because we have had so much economic growth. We have so many jobs moving here, so many people moving here. And that's the main reason we started making these videos to begin with, because we have so many people that move here and they're just lost. We get all these calls, we get all these questions from people moving in from out of state, moving in from out of cities. We've had a couple move in from other countries, and they just don't even know where to start. So before you even pick up your things and start moving, we wanted an opportunity to get in front of you guys and let you guys know, like, about Fort Worth as a whole. And I'm surprised it took us this long to actually do a video like this on Central Fort Worth. But Fort Worth itself is huge. Like, as you can see here, like, even zoomed out, like, this is the DFW Metroplex as you're looking at it. You've got Dallas over here, there's Arlington, the DFW International Airport, and here's Fort Worth, and it's just enormous. It's so big we have other cities inside of it. Look, we got Hazlitt, we got Saginaw, we got White Settlement, River Oaks, Lake Worth, Forest Hill, Everman, Edgecliff, Benbrook. It's Haltom City, all this stuff here. It's enormous, and so it really kind of gets split up into areas. The way I like to look at it is you've got North Fort Worth up here, you've got like North Side and all that jazz. This is where like the stockyards are. You've got West Fort Worth where like White Settlement and the JRB, the Joint Reserve Base, the military base in Lockheed Martin and all that is. You've got South Fort Worth, and you can see here you got like Ridgely, and this is like all the like there's some industry and a ton of restaurants and stuff down here, the medical sector, Magnolia and all that jazz. And then you've got East Fort Worth, and this is mostly residential, and you've got the lake over here, Lake Arlington and stuff like that. So that's how we usually break up Fort Worth. But when I say Central Fort Worth, I'm talking right here, literally smack dab in the center of Fort Worth. And this is where like downtown Fort Worth is, botanical gardens, the zoo, all this other stuff. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today, is like the heart and soul of Fort Worth economy. Fort Worth, like downtown, is what we're going to be looking at. So you guys are going to be sticking around watching me flap my jaws about this area here. And I know it looks really small, but I promise there's a ton of stuff to be doing in this area. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So before we get too into the ins and outs of downtown Fort Worth and Central Fort Worth as a whole, let's take a look at some of the drive times real quick, because I know I zoomed out of that map pretty quick and you may not have gotten a good idea of like the actual scale of everything that we're dealing with. I know these look close, Dallas and Fort Worth, but well, Texas is huge. No like shade to any other states or anything. I'm not measuring anything with you guys, but like in all seriousness, like Dallas and Fort Worth, they're like that far apart. But you think about how big Texas is. Like there's Oklahoma City and Arkansas, and you can still see the difference between these two. So let's get a better sense of this is something that's really going to trip you out if you're coming in from out of state. Texans don't count, we don't say like how far is it from A to B and say like 10 miles. We say it's going to be about like half an hour. Yeah, we measure our drive times in actual times. So some of these can get a little crazy, but let's see here. So you got, obviously here we got Fort Worth. So let's say just how far is it to Dallas, since I've been talking up Dallas so much real quick. So if you're trying to make it to Dallas, flip-flop those real quick. Dallas is, like, best guess, I say probably about 35-40 minutes from downtown Fort Worth, depending on what traffic's like. Yeah, there you go. See, 40 minutes. And that's the cool thing about the Fort Worth area. If you're actually in central Fort Worth, you can already see it's already built like a wheel, and you got these spokes coming off. So if you're in the downtown Fort Worth area, and there's plenty of spots to stay in downtown Fort Worth as well, you've got you've got basically direct access to anywhere in the Metroplex. So this normally is, because I live like in the Hewlin area, it takes me close to like 45 minutes because I got to like go up these arterial roads, get on this road and get over here. But if you're in Central Fort Worth, it's just a straight shot over there. So yeah, you go straight through Arlington, which, speaking of Arlington, let's see, if I guessed, let's see, 15 minutes. Let's see how close I am. Arlington, there you are, boom. Yeah, 20 minutes. Okay, well, I wasn't too far off, but there's a good bit of traffic right here. So, and yeah, that takes you to Globe Life. So if you're trying to make it to like Central Arlington from Central Fort Worth, you're looking at about 20 minutes. If you're trying to make it to airport, ooh, that's another good one. Because I know we get a lot of pilots and stuff like that being close to like one of the largest airports in America. Like, this thing's huge. Look at that. That's almost a whole city right there. But if you're trying to make it to the airport here, DFW International Airport, from Central Fort Worth, 20 minutes. Look at that. You just take one of these roads straight out of Central Fort Worth and it plops you right there. Another big one that we get is if you're trying to make it up to like the Grapevine area and stuff like that, because like there's plenty of stuff to do up here in this area. So if you live in around the Central Fort Worth area and you want to make it to like North DFW, so let's say Flower Mound, another great place to live. If you don't know about it, it's made the top 10 places to live in America several times, and it's only a 40-minute drive. So I got some buddies that live up there. I'm pretty familiar with that drive time myself. Another good one for people is if you're trying to make it to some of the more local rodeos. We got Weatherford over here. I actually just knocked out a map tour video for that, so go ahead and check that one out when you get a chance. But Weatherford is probably about half an hour away. Yeah, see, about 35 minutes. Traffic's pretty light right now, but the cool thing is you get to take the main road all the way over there, so you're moving the whole time. It's not like stop and go traffic or anything like that. But suffice to say that the Central Fort Worth area is very accessible, not just as far as like places you can go from it, but places you can get to Central Fort Worth from. Like I said, this whole wagon wheel design that we got going on, this is the 820, by the way. If you guys aren't super familiar with the Fort Worth infrastructure, we call this the 820, as you can see here, Loop 820. It's a branch off of the I-20, which is the interstate highway that goes through right here. That's the one we were looking at. This is the 30 right here, but it merges and becomes the 20. So here's the actual 20. It goes down on the south side of Fort Worth, merges in here. This all becomes the 20. But basically, this is going to be how you get around. So you've got 199, the 35 west over here. This is another part of the Loop 820 over here. It basically goes around and all these things connect to each other. So it makes it really easy if you're like way out here in like Lake Worth and you need to get to somewhere else. Instead of having to do this grid thing where you do this zigzag across it like you get here in some of these arterial roads as you get closer to the city center, you get these major roads that make it really easy to get in and out of places fairly easily. So that's one of the big draws that I know a lot of people have when it comes to the road systems around here, but it does get a little complex here in this area. You see this spider web of roads as we get here. But if you're sticking around to the Central Fort Worth area, that makes it super easy for you because you can basically just jump on and start heading in any direction. So now that you know where it is and how long it takes to get everywhere from Central Fort Worth, I know you're asking like, well, is it for me? Like, what is there to really do here? And in the infamous words of Samuel L. Jackson in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts because here we go. So as I zoom in here, don't get overwhelmed, but we're going to have a lot of little dots pop up. So this right here is the bulk of it. So you see, you got Sundance Square. I'm you know, before we go too much further, let me just show you this because this is a thing in and of itself. Sundance Square, I'm sure you've heard of it, Sundance Kid and all that jazz. It's based off, there's a ton of history in Fort Worth. First of all, everything about Fort Worth has some history to it. Fort Worth was it was an old railroad town. We've got like trains going everywhere through here. So there's a lot of history with the railroads in this area, Santa Fe, Union Pacific, all that jazz. But Sundance Square, it was another one of those. Without going into too much detail about that, it's literally like a town square. Let me see if I can get a photo of it pulled up here real quick. So yeah, this is one of the things. They've had this big reflective cowboy hat there, basically. All of this year. I don't know if that was something that they've pulled out before, but I don't remember it being there last year. Let me see if I can, oh, here we go. So as you can see here, they've got like this nice little, this one's really cool. They got the lights and everything set up, but this is actually I don't know if it's really a splash pad, but they got like water jets under here that they'll turn on depending on what time of the year it is. Over here on this side, they've got like a stage and everything. They've got shops all around this thing. This is only half of it, by the way. There's like this little dividing walkway here. Let's see if I can get here we go. So yeah, this was the, so you can see here they got the lights and everything set up. There's we're looking at it from the other side, by the way. So we were just looking at it from this angle. This is what, obviously they took it during Christmas. You can see they got the tree and everything up. They got these cool little fold out umbrella looking things, or shades. So these actually fold up, so they're not out all year round. So if it's more temperate and whatnot, they'll fold those away. This is the little square that we were just looking at. There's a stage and everything. There's like a Starbucks over here. There's like there's like I think another little coffee shop over here. And then there's a restaurant and everything over here, an event center, and I think they've got like some kind of botanical thing going on over here, but it's really cool. As you can see, there's a ton of people. They always host all these events. This is Main Street right here, and you can see the courthouse and everything at the end of the downtown area. So all in all, really cool. Sundance Square really is a thing in and of itself, and you should definitely go check it out because they're always having stuff going on. Another great thing about the Central Fort Worth area, the convention center. So I actually, I was here, last month I want to say, because the Shriners are they're like a lodge or something like that, kind of like the Freemasons or what do they call them? Yeah, the Masons or the Rotary Club or something like that, which they have lodges and stuff like that for those guys around here as well. But the Shriners had a circus here, and they have that every year, and I think it's really cool. They have like actual elephants and dogs and camels and whatnot, and it's all very humane. It's not like how, you know, the circuses used to be when I was a kid and whatnot. Like, they're all very healthy and well taken care of, and they have all these events going on, like it's a 3-ring circus. You've seen how it goes, but it's a really cool thing that they set up every year, and they have stuff like that here. I know Repticon has like their reptile convention here. Basically, the Fort Worth Convention Center just has all these different rooms and atriums and things like that where you can host these awesome events, and there is always something going on. So I can't speak for what's going on there right now, but if you check their event lineup, they've always got something here. Actually, let's take a quick look at like the inside of it. Maybe they'll have some photos of some of these events. Yeah, almost 11,000 photos. A star made of cowboy hats. Why not? It's Texas. We do that kind of stuff. But yeah, so you've got like all these cool events and whatnot. Yeah, the ping pong tournaments. Yeah, why not? But yeah, if you're looking for stuff to do, there's always something going on at that place. They got like the downtown YMCA and whatnot. So if you need like a quick little area to pop in, you know, they've got pools and gyms set up and whatnot. The Bass Performance Hall. Oh my God, there's just so much to do in downtown. We really do need a separate video on this. This is really cool. I saw oh my God, I don't even remember the name of the band. They do like a bunch of like they've got like a whole setup. Anyway, they do a bunch of music and theatrical performance stuff set up here. I actually I played French horn in high school, and we had all sorts of concerts and things here. It's really cool. They've got practice rooms in the back as well. We'll get into some of these restaurants as well. I know some of you guys are eyeing some of these, but they're really cool. There's tons of things to do, and that's just in downtown Fort Worth. So Central Fort Worth extends beyond more than just that. As you can see over here, we've got like the Memorial Center and whatnot. This is all the Botanical Garden, by the way. All of this, you've got parks and whatnot all up and down. This is a Trinity River, by the way, for a little Fort Worth reference. Trinity River is huge. It's not just Central Fort Worth. As you can see, it snakes all along here and down here and way over there. It connects to a lot of these other smaller bodies of water and whatnot. It's just enormous, and they have all kinds of events and stuff. So you'll have like live music stages set up on Panther Island, which actually, let me point that out real quick because that one's really cool. But let's see if I can find it on the map. So it should be in this area. Yeah, Panther Island Pavilion. So this is a big parking lot here, nothing crazy. That being said, they have on the other side of that parking lot a stage that actually faces out into the river. And it's not so people on the other side of the river can watch it, so people in the river can watch, because they'll have like floating concerts. They'll have like a bunch of people in tubes and with like life, or what are those, water wings and pool noodles and stuff like that out there watching live music. Drinks, food, all that jazz. It's awesome. They also have a really sick fireworks show every year, 4th of July. You got people clamoring for parking to come check this thing out, and you can see it for miles. So it's phenomenal. Like, you got the college down here. As far as things to do go, man, like, there's a ton of stuff. Yeah, the water gardens. This is really cool. I know it made the news for some not so savory stuff several years ago, but the water gardens itself is actually really cool. Let's see if Google's actually going to pull up a photo of it so I can show you guys. Look at this thing. It's like this big concrete, like, visual art piece with water flowing in it all the time. Great for a photo op. Yeah, they got all kinds of fountains and whatnot. It's just beautiful. Tons of stuff to do, tons of stuff to look at. Yeah, you're really not going to run out of things to do in Central Fort Worth. Let's see if I can just pull one more thing that isn't just, you know, downtown Fort Worth. Let's see. Let's go into this area. So as we get a little bit further south, you got like the Magnolia area and whatnot. Yeah, I'm trying not to get too far from Central Fort Worth either. But yeah, there's parks and whatnot all along here. Yeah, you know what? We're going to have a separate video on that or something. If you guys have anything specific that you want to see about the Central Fort Worth area, please put it in the comments. Because like I said, it's an overwhelming number of things to do. But let's go ahead and jump on to the... Oh, there we go. You know what? No, one last thing. The drive-in, because these are few and far between. I gotta point this out. I forgot about that. The Coyote Drive-In is a drive-in movie theater, and I've been here several times. It's not like you're not going to see box office stuff, not the weekend that it comes out, but they've got all kinds of cool things that you can go look at. They've got, like, yeah, they've got concessions and whatnot, so you can get your, yeah, there it is, the little pavilion set up. You got drinks, your popcorn and whatnot, and you just go in your car, tune into the right radio station, and you get to watch it from the comfort of your F-150 or whatever you're driving these days. It's a really cool thing to do. But before I get distracted with another cool thing to do in Central Fort Worth, let's move on to the next section. There's plenty of things to do, I get it, but like, you guys want to stuff your faces. I know there's plenty of foodies that travel around because of, you know, what the area has to offer as far as plates go. Let's take a look at some of those real quick, because I'm a huge food person myself, and I love what downtown has to offer. And not just downtown, but like Central Fort Worth as a whole. One thing that I will point out is the Texas de Brazil. Let me see if I could show you that real quick. Yeah, there it is. This one's really cool. So this is a Brazilian steakhouse, and if you guys don't know what a Brazilian steakhouse is, the way they do this is they will, let's see if I can get some photos of the food up here to just kind of wet your whistle real quick. There you go. Look at that while I talk. These guys, what they do is this it's set up a little different. You come in, you immediately get a plate, start serving up salad, and you go sit at your table. And once you're done with your salad, you get this little coin, and it's got a red side and a green side. Whenever you're ready for the main course, you flip it over to the green side, and they come around and they've got these spits of meat that they basically will carve off however much of whatever you want onto your plate. And then you just pick what you want and eat it there. So they'll come around to the table with these right here. So like, I'm not exactly sure what this is, but they'll have everything from like medallions to like slices of all these different kinds of meat. Like they've got lamb, pork, beef, chicken, turkey, and they've got all these sides as well that they'll come by with. And they've got great desserts as well. And so basically you pay for the plate and you can eat as much as you want, which it's great to come to this place hungry. I don't think I've ever gotten my money's worth for the amount of meat that I wanted to eat, because I get very full afterwards. And I think it's the salad. I think it's all a scheme, honestly. You eat too much salad so you don't eat all the meat, but it's really good if you've just got like a bottomless pit, because the food here is divine, honestly. And all these cutlets and whatnot are very well seasoned, very well cooked. Look at that. It's just a beautiful restaurant as well. Highly advise it. Go check it out. It is a little pricey, so it's not like an everyday thing, but it's definitely worth a visit. One more thing that I will point out, and this one is also kind of pricey as well, but the, let's see. Riata, where you be? Branch and Bird, that's unfortunate. That one's shut down actually, but it was really cool because they had like this balcony bar kind of thing, so you could look over downtown and whatnot. Sad to see that one go, but there it is, Riata. So this one, you may know this one. This one's a great event venue and whatnot. And they have a rooftop bar that they host a lot of things at. The food's okay. It is a little pricey, but the main draw is this right here. So they've got, and sorry, that's a video. I don't know if I can show that or not, but It's yeah, so here it is from street level. See, they've got this covered area, it's got all this lighting, they got like a DJ setup and everything, and so it's a great place to host like professional after work parties and whatnot, which we've been to a couple of those. I've been to some birthdays up here. They got like a full bar and everything. They basically block the whole area off to you, so you and your party can have at. So that one's really cool. And then a personal favorite of mine down here. So this place right here, Del Frisco's, this is more of a high dollar joint, but they have some phenomenal food. They've got aged steaks, they've got like wagyu, however you pronounce it. Yeah, all of it's just really good food, phenomenal date setting and everything. They've got like a bar and whatnot. All of this lovely banner, or what are these called? The banisters and chandeliers and everything like that. Just gorgeous, honestly, and the food is phenomenal, but it is pricey, don't get me wrong. But if you need to really impress a date, that's the place you take them, by the way. Make them think that you actually have class instead of just taking them to somewhere some dude on the YouTube told you to go. But honestly, it is a really great restaurant. There's plenty of these. You got like the Hibachi Grill here, the Istanbul Grill. I've never actually been to that one. Mi Cocina is really good. I mean, there's a Razoo's, I guess. But barbecue, yeah, there's plenty of barbecue places. They've got like some smaller things, like I think there's like a Subway and a Hooters down there as well, if you just need something more casual. But there are no shortage of restaurants to go check out. And that actually is a great segue into our next one, our next section, nightlife. So we'll jump in that real quick. Downtown is really great for nightlife, and I know that can kind of go one of two ways for some people. In some people's mind, that means like clubs and dancing and all that other stuff. Some people's mind, that means like a nice sit-down restaurant. Well, this is kind of like the in-between situation. So there's definitely some places for clubbing and whatnot in the Fort Worth area. I would say if that's something you want to check out, let's go ahead and take a trip down this road right here. West 7th Street it goes through, as you can see, it goes through downtown, but it also goes through what is called the, I believe this is the art district or the business district. That's what they call it. The big business district over here. And we're going to take a look at all this as well, because I skipped a lot of these things earlier in the video to just kind of laud over downtown over here. But this right here is really cool as well. So West 7th is, it's kind of a party area as it gets later at night. And I want to talk about some of these. Rodeo Go's also another phenomenal one. This is a burger joint, actually, but they have some great burgers, so don't let the term burger throw you off, because it's something else. But you've got all these great restaurants and whatnot, and I say go check out all of these. You've got Montgomery Plaza over here, where to go for, Montgomery Plaza. This one's really cool because they have all sorts of things to do as well. There's like an escape room, there's like a hibachi place or a sushi place over here, Linwood Park and whatnot. We'll get to all that in a minute. But Crockett Row is what I want to focus on real quick. So they've got a lot of stuff to do as far as like nightlife goes. There used to be like a little karaoke suite over here, but that's shut down, unfortunately. They've got like a VR place where you can go like shoot zombies with your friends. They've got all of these restaurants right here. So Social House is great. It's got like a full bar with more beers than you could even knew existed. You've got great food and everything. You got the Movie Tavern. You got cookies. That's always fun. You've got, what is this, Concrete Cowboy. So they've got like some nightlife stuff going on. And if you go up a couple of streets, you've also got, where's it at? The Bodega. This one's really cool, and I'm gonna let you guys in on a bit of a secret, because they've got a club in the back where they have open mic nights. They've got comedy, they've got singers, they've got DJs, they've got a bar back there. But if you don't know what a bodega is, it's basically like a convenience store. So you walk into this place, all right, and it just looks like, a little 7-Eleven setup. You got like shelves. Some of them have drinks. Some of them have candy, snacks, all that jazz. Go ahead, order something, and then your ticket your receipt, whenever you buy something, has a number on it. And you go in to the left of the counter. There's like a refrigerator door that has a code pad on it. You punch that code in there, and then you can get into the club in the back. Don't tell them I sent you, but it's a really cool thing. And you got like bar 2909. You've got where's like Landmark and all that stuff. There's like a bunch of college bars and stuff like that over here. But it's really cool because they've got everything, like I said, from karaoke, live music, to just your club music, and some good food as well in this area. backyard, yeah, all that jazz. This is where like the college nightlife is at. So you're gonna find this is more of a younger crowd. This is where like that real like fire young 20s energy is in that area. But if you're looking for something a little bit more low key, let's go back over here to like the downtown area, because I want to show you guys a couple of things. So one of my personal favorites, and a great place to take your friends after you've had a couple of drinks and you just want to wail and yell some Sweet Caroline drunkenly and then end up on somebody's phone for the rest of your life, is Pete's Dueling Piano Bar. Let's see if I can find it. That should be off of here. You know what? Let's just make this easy on myself. I obviously can't work a map. There it is. I wasn't even looking on the right street. So Pete's Dueling Piano Bar right here. This is a phenomenal venue. If you're looking for something to do after you've already had a couple of drinks, go here. They start off a little slow, but this will shut down the street. These guys will get so raucous in like a good way. It's not like in like a sloppy way, but look, so they have these two guys that are usually playing piano, or they've actually started incorporating other things. So it started off with two pianos, but now they do everything from like guitars and bass to drums, and they'll have like, I think they've even had some wind instruments, but they always incorporate the crowd. Like, these guys know how to throw a great night, and they play all these songs that everyone's gonna know, like Journey and like Queen and things like that, the classics. Obviously they do some contemporary stuff as well, but you're gonna hear a song you know and want to sing along with, and please, by all means, do, because it's so unassuming on the outside, but once you step in, the energy and the vibe is just really there. It's great. Highly recommend it. And these guys are phenomenal musicians, comedians, and just hosts in general. So as far as nightlife goes, there's plenty of stuff like this in downtown Fort Worth as well. You're never going to be short of things to do as the sun goes down. And if maybe even that's a little too much for you, we can go south here off of Rosedale and Henderson and all this. Let's head down this way. All right, Rosedale. This one's great because actually, you know what, I'm gonna just jump straight to what I want to show you guys, because this place is awesome. This isn't a Fort Worth specific thing, but if you have a, oh yeah, see, as you can see, it zooms out for me. We got a Wabi House here in Dallas as well, but this place is awesome. If you like, I know ramen, okay? It's always perceived as like the poor man's food. It's like what I was eating in college when I didn't have any money, because it's like 11 cents a cup. You put some hot water in it and you're good to go for the next 12 hours. But when I say ramen in this context, it's something else. So it's right here, just on the edge of like what I would consider central Fort Worth. Come on, Google, work with me. But this whole area right here, this intersection, you've got all kinds of things going on. It's a little more low-key. This is what we call the medical district, because as you can see right here, you got all the hospitals and everything like that. So they're very well centrally located right off of the main roads. You can get to them very easily from anywhere in Fort Worth, but especially here in central Fort Worth. You've got like Baylor Scott and White. You've got like Texas Methodist. All this stuff. We call this like Magnolia or the medical district, but it's also got plenty of restaurants and like nightlife. These guys right here though, the spicy miso soup is to die for. I get it like every time, but this is like real ramen. This isn't like I'm broke and I need to make it through a meal ramen. This is like, oh, I want this as a meal ramen. It's great. You get plenty of food for the price. It's not too overpriced or anything. And they've got more than just ramen. So you can see they've got, like, my mouth is watering, sorry. They've got like these I don't know what they're actually called, but it's like fried corn basically in a ball. They've also got like a bar, and part of it's inside. So if it's like too warm or too cold outside, but also part of it is outside as well. The food's great. Let me see the, so this is a very easily accessible one, but not the best photo. As you can see out here, they've got like this nice covered patio area, and this is on the second floor, so you get a nice view of like the Magnolia area as well. They've got like these gas heaters set up and fans and everything to help keep it temperate, but they got a bar and they deliver food out there and everything. It's just a really nice, chill vibe, and a great place to take somebody on a date as well, to really open up their palate to something new. Because I know in Texas, we kind of get shoehorned into Tex-Mex and barbecue, but if you need a little Asian persuasion, that's the place to go, man. anyway, before I get too in depth on like food again, let's go ahead and jump on to the next section. All right, guys. So now I know I've blown you guys away with everything from Top Golf to 4-Day Weekend and Joe T. Garcia's, but now I got to kind of put a dampener on things because we're going to talk about schools. And if you've watched any of our other videos, Fort Worth schools aren't bad, but they're not great either. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, since I can't really, as a real estate agent, give you guys like opinionated information on schools, let's go ahead and look at some facts by niche. So niche or niche.com, however you want to pronounce it, is it's basically like a school and neighborhood rating system that they've made public, which I think is a phenomenal resource. And if you haven't already, go ahead and check this out. If schools are important or you want to learn about the education and some of the neighborhoods and areas, this is a phenomenal resource. So what we're going to do is just punch in Fort Worth ISD. And I'm going to show you something real quick that I'm not super proud of, but we are working on. Fort Worth ISD, that overall grade on niche is a B-. So Fort Worth public schools, let me just say very bluntly, are not great. They will, like, your kid could still go to college very easily, but you're not going to have a lot of the same faculty or facilities as some other higher end school districts will have. Fort Worth, for anyone who isn't aware, is very old. Like, the infrastructure is old, the area has been around a really long time, and the schools are kind of a product of their age as well. So a lot of it is out of date, a lot of it is maybe in older buildings and stuff like that, and so we're working to update it, but it takes a really long time for a city like this. So all that's to say, it's going in the right direction, but for right now, let's take a look at the data as is and keep all that in mind, if you will. So as you can see, like, we got great college prep, teachers and clubs and sports and facilities, diversity. Where we suffer is like a little bit in academics and food, and that's just going to be a product of the fact that it is such a large city that they can't necessarily tailor the education systems very easily to everyone in the city, and we've suffered for that, to be perfectly honest. But I want to show you guys a couple of things, because as we actually, yeah, sure, perfect. As this opens up here, you see you got a ton of schools all over the place. So no matter where you are in Fort Worth, you're never going to have to go very far to get to a school. As you can see, we got a couple of these A's here, and I'm going to point some of those out here in a minute, because I know that's probably piquing your interest if this is something that's interesting for you. But like here, let's open up some of these here real quick. Some of the higher end ones. Yeah. Well, that's a leadership academy. We'll go ahead and pull this up. Oh, Montessori, McLean. So I opened up quite a few of these because I want to show you guys something. So these right here are some of the higher end schools, higher rated schools, I should say, in the Fort Worth area. I know we were talking about Central Fort Worth, but I want to point out a couple of these, because if you saw the map earlier, a lot of those darker green dots didn't make it into Central Fort Worth. So if schools are really important, because as you see here in the Central Fort Worth area, I mean, you got a couple of A rated, but some of these C minus, not great. And I know that you guys are already kind of like, no, I don't want to put my kid in those, so I don't blame you. But here, so we got like Overton Park Elementary. This one's here off of the 20, so it's more in South Fort Worth. Good elementary school. Another great one, this is probably the best one here in Fort Worth, Tanglewood Elementary School. This one's not too far away, so if I open up this right here, there, Tanglewood Elementary School, it's not a far drive from like the Central Fort Worth area. So even if you're out here on like the outskirts or whatever, you're looking like 10-15 minutes. And a phenomenal school, all in all. You can see A rated on everything. We got Burton Hills Elementary School, another good one. This one's closer to the west side of Fort Worth, but again, A rated on everything. I wanted to point some of these out because, so these right here are higher rated. The Young Women's Leadership Academy, stuff like that. That's not a typical public school. This is like a charter school. So I wanted to point this one out because I know that you saw all those C's and B minuses on everything on the map, and that can be a little daunting for people who are bringing families to the Fort Worth area, regardless of where you're going to land. So whenever you see stuff like this, I love pointing this out because Fort Worth, like I said, we're working on our public school system, but we also have a huge network of charter schools, Montessori schools, private schooling, and things like that. And I know that can be a bit of a hit on some people's pockets, but if it's something that you guys really are passionate about, you want the best for your kids. Everyone does. I get it. And you can afford something like this. There are plenty of options out there that are not just public school, and a lot of them are very affordable as well. They've started popping up more and more throughout the Fort Worth area, and more of those bring more competition, which means lower prices for you guys and a better product overall. So I wanted to point this one out because you got plenty of options as far as like charter schools and private schools go. So these are all very highly rated. As you can see here, I wanted to point this one out because this one's a Montessori school, and if you guys don't know, this one does things a little bit different. It's more of a democratic system for kids and whatnot. We'll probably have a video on like schooling and stuff like it in the area, but we do have Montessori school options as well. We also have, see, there's McLean Middle School. Unfortunately, that's one of the higher rated ones, but it's only a B. We do get, there's another STEM school and everything. Biomedical, these are like charter schools and specialty schools, but this Pascal High School, one of the higher rated ones. It's also got a, I wanted to point this one out specifically because this one has a direct graduation course with TCU. So as you can see here, it's even right here, Texas Christian University. That's like the big college here in the Fort Worth area. Very, very highly rated and everything like that. But Pascal High School is like right up the road from it. Like literally you can see the campus from the high school. And they have a graduation plan, I guess, that basically feeds directly into the TCU area. So if you're trying to if your kid wants to be a Horned Frog, this would be the place to go. If you send them here, they basically got all the resources and then some that they need to be able to get into that college. And at that point, it's just on them. Got to keep them grades up. But I wanted to go ahead and point that out because I know that there's a lot of yellow on this map and it can be daunting, but I don't want to scare you guys away. But anyway, enough of the bad talk about schools. Let's go ahead and jump into the next section. All right, so if the school system didn't scare you away and you're thinking about actually moving to the central Fort Worth area, but you want to know what the houses and housing situations look like, let's go ahead and jump right into that because there's quite a few things in the downtown Fort Worth area, not just in downtown either. So actually, let's go ahead and look at a more traditional housing situation. So what I have right here, I'm going to go ahead and open up. This is the MLS. Well, this is the search page of the MLS, the multiple listing system. This is what all real estate agent, well, not all, most real estate agents in the state of Texas use, and especially around the DFW area. This is what the interface looks like. So this is the search page for residential properties. So we're here in the quick search. And I've got everything selected. So we've got active and coming soon. So this is basically everything that's on the market or about to go on the market. And it's going to show a lot of things, so we're going to go ahead, zoom into the Fort Worth area, take a look at Central Fort Worth here, and see what pops up. There's a lot. There's plenty of real estate to be had in Fort Worth, and I want to show you this over here. This right here, Linwood Park. As I said earlier, over here, this is the Montgomery Plaza, so it's a really cool place to be. You got West 7th and all that jazz, all those restaurants and events I was talking about down here. But Linwood Park is really cool because it's kind of tucked away. It's its own little thing. As you can see, it circles the park itself, but there are plenty of little houses, condos, townhome setups here, or not townhomes, I'm sorry, but houses and condos. That one's a little rough looking. But they've got some really cool stuff in this area, and I'm hoping there's something available I can show you guys real quick. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this one looks like it might be a duplex. Yeah, here we go. So, yeah, this one's a little, what is this? It does have an HOA. They count this one. It is a townhouse. But look at this real quick. They've got some high-end architecture. Everything's kind of square on the outside. Look, we'll get to that in a second. No worries. But these are really cool because they're like these multi-floor townhome things that they've got, and it's just so close to downtown that it really makes it a nice spot to be. You get this cool architecture. Everything's really well taken care of. You got an HOA, so you know it's going to be looked after and everything. You don't get much of a yard. It's basically just enough room for your dog to go outside and do its business and then come back inside. But most people are living here for the house itself. So one of the cool features, and I'm hoping they have a photo of it. Oh, look at that nice bathroom and everything. That cool shower, dual vanities. Plenty of closet space, obviously, but there we go. So every single one of these units here in the Linwood Park area has this. So this is like the stairway up to the third, or I guess fourth floor in this case. And then you've got a rooftop seating area. So all of them have rooftop access, and the vast majority of people who end up getting one of these townhomes do something like this. They'll make a seating area, they'll make like an outdoor event center or something like that, and you get this beautiful view of downtown. Man, he doesn't have any photos of it in the listing. That's kind of ugly. That's the back of the house. But you can usually see downtown, and it's gorgeous and everything. A lot of people love going and moving into this area. And on top of that, like I said, you have, let me pull it up on Google Maps so you can see a little better. But yeah, so you've got all of that is surrounding Linwood Park itself. So if I zoom in here, the park is a little small, but it's beautiful. It's got like a little walking trail through it and everything. It's nothing crazy. There's only one photo of this. Why? Google, you're really letting me down, man. But yeah, it's got like a little, like, you saw the baseball backstop setup. It's got like a playground and everything. It's really gorgeous, and all of that is around that park area. So that's, I know, a really big draw for people, especially if they want to be close to Montgomery Plaza. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and take a look at one of these, because Montgomery Plaza, we may actually have another video on the plaza itself, has some really cool condo units set up in it. So it's got kind of the same feel as the TMP building, but it's a lot newer. So you get that almost rustic industrial style, but with some softer edges. So we've had a client look at quite a few of these units, and as you can see, they got these nice big windows, a beautiful view of downtown. It's a really tall building as well, with a lot of amenities. Like, it's got a pool, a gym, it's got an event center, and on top of that, on the bottom floor of all of it are a bunch of shops and restaurants and things like that. So even if you don't live in this area, it's a great place to visit. But yeah, man, these are all just really cool. This looks like, I bet you a guy lives here. It looks very decked out in black. But yeah, beautiful bathroom and everything. So you got a lot of options when it comes to like even condo living and stuff like that. Let me take a look at some of the ones closer to downtown, because if you end up getting in like one of these high rises or something like that, there are actually some condos available in downtown Fort Worth. Let's see, how much are these going for? That one's had a 9 in front of it. Oh, that's actually decently reasonable for downtown living. So $525 here, and you already see you got like this crazy balcony set up and everything. These huge floor to ceiling windows. Man, these are gorgeous. But yeah, there's plenty of options. I mean, kitchen setup's kind of bland, but you know, whenever you got like that kind of view of downtown, you can't really complain for $500,000. But yeah, there's tons of living options for stuff like this in this area. And one thing I do want to point out here, you got the Fort Worth Central line here. This goes through Arlington all the way to Dallas and whatnot. There's one that drops off at the parks in northern Dallas or by Irving. You've also got this one, the TMP. This one goes to Dallas and over to the JRB, or the Joint Reserve Base, on the western side of Fort Worth. So I know a lot of Lockheed Martin guys, a lot of the reserve military people, they'll take this train, and a lot of them live down here at the TNP building as well. We'll take a quick peek at one of these, but we have a video on this one, so I want you guys to go ahead and check it out, because I mentioned it earlier. Like I said, it's got kind of like that industrial look to it. It's kind of broken up into two sections. You've got this right here, which is the TNP building itself, which was an old train station and has condos on all these top floors, but it's got amenity center, fitness center, a resistance pool, all sorts of stuff, shops and restaurants. And then you got the lofts over here, which are more like, you know, this is more just residential. But this is a pretty cool setup as well. Sorry, let me zoom in on that so you guys can actually see it. Like I said, you got like the industrial look and everything. Everything's very modern. You got like the polished concrete floors and whatnot, but it's a little more low key than the Montgomery Plaza. Still nice and everything. But yeah, you have a ton of options when it comes to downtown and central Fort Worth living. Let me see if I can find some regular houses instead of townhomes and condos. So let's go ahead, zoom in on here. So one thing right here, this right below Rosedale and north of like Berry Street and all that jazz, this right here, we call this the Fairmont District. Now this is, if not, I believe, the largest collection of bungalows in Texas. And if you don't know what a bungalow is, it's just a small, low-rise house. You've probably seen it. You just don't know that it's called by that. But let me see here if I can pull up a picture of one. That's a bad example because that's a 2-story, but they're kind of like this. So this area right here is a historic district or historic area. All the houses in here are like, as you can see here, like close to, that one's like in the 60s. That's actually a very new house for this area, but a lot of them are from like 1920s to 1960s time frame. And they're these older shiplap wall houses, pier and beam and stuff like that. So if you're into the architecture of like the 19th century, this is the place to be, because everything in here, first of all, it's well taken care of, even though some of these houses are close to 100 years old. I don't want that to scare you guys, because I live in a house that was built in 1924, I believe. So it's verging on 100 years at this point, and it's still going strong. It's all remodeled on the inside, and a lot of these are. As you look at this right here, the first photos of the living room, and it looks very nice. They've got like these surface lights put in to really fill the space and everything. It looks like they may have moved some walls around. A lot of these have updated wiring and plumbing and stuff like that. Oh, I love these little wood accents, the painted brick and all that. I'd like to see a picture of the front of the house so I can show you guys. Look at that, the little eat-on island and everything. Really pretty, but so this is the inside. I was hoping to show you guys the outside of the house, because I know you'll recognize the type of house once you see it. There we go. So this is like what a bungalow is. It's just a little low-lying thing. This one looks like it might have been a slab foundation, actually, instead of a pier and beam. Let me see if I can get a more traditional-looking one. That was the one we were just looking at. What about you? No, that's probably not a good example. Here we go. Oh, that was not what I thought it was. The little thumbnails, I need to get my eyes checked. Oh, it looks like this one's under construction at the moment. This is more like what a typical bungalow looks like. It looks like it needs a little work. This one's older, probably, but they usually have like a raised patio or something like that, because it's got like a crawl space under it and whatnot, which I don't want that to scare you away if you've never had a pier and beam house before, because plumbing work is a breeze in pier and beam. If a pipe breaks under your house and you have a slab, you're looking at like a $20,000 repair. If a pipe breaks under your house and you've got a pier and beam, you're looking like a $50 Home Depot trip and some elbow grease, and you'll be fine. But these are great. Yeah, this one is definitely being worked on at the moment. It's owned by a Restoration LLC by the looks of it. Yeah, Fort Worth Restoration LLC. So, but this is like the type of architecture that you're going to see with the bungalow. I don't want to scare you guys away because this one's in pretty rough shape. But look, you got like this cute little covered patio and brick-sided one next to it. So if this is a style house, you want something like cute and homey and with like a lot of history to it, this is definitely the place to be as a Fairmont district. And like I said, it's a historical district, so they make sure that if you make any changes to the outside of your house, it's going to match the aesthetic of the area. It's a requirement of that area since it is protected. So if you have a style like that, you don't have to worry about some crazy gentrification coming in and changing up the whole landscape. But all in all, it's very well taken care of as well. As you saw the pictures of that first one, the people who are coming in and moving in, restoring these houses are putting a lot of love and care in there and bringing a lot of modern touches to these 100-year-old houses to really bring them up to date. They're replacing the wiring, so you get the 3-pole wires. A lot of times you'll get copper wiring. They're replacing a lot of old piping, so you're moving from cast iron over to PVC. So you're getting a lot of last century's charm with the updates of the 2000s that everyone looks for in a house. But suffice to say, as you can see, tons of little green dots all over the place. So as far as like Central Fort Worth living goes, I know we only got a little taste of it, but there's a lot of options to be had here. Since you stuck around to the end of the video, I want to show you guys something that I'm really hoping don't ruin it for me, because it's a really cool place. But here, we're gonna go ahead and jump back over to Google Maps, and I'm gonna show you something that's not really a hidden gem, but it's kind of hidden if you don't know. So over here, down in Central Fort Worth, downtown, over by Sundance Square, let's see, it's off of Houston and 8th Street, I believe. Let's see if I can find it real quick. So there's Houston Street, there's 7th, so there's 8th. Is that it? I think it is. Thompson's Bookstore. And I know you guys are like, Why are you showing me a bookstore? I don't care about books. Maybe you do, and you're just super interested. Well, I'm about to disappoint those people because it's not actually a bookstore. Not anymore, at least. It used to be a bookstore. But back in the, what was it? 20s, I want to say, Prohibition, whenever that was. I'm not a history buff, don't rag on me for it, but back in Prohibition, they had speakeasies because people love alcohol, people love partying and going out and doing things, but Texas being the deep red state that it was at the time, they didn't really look too kindly upon excessive drinking. Religious background and all that jazz. So this is a callback to that time. So it's a bookstore that has a speakeasy in it. But really, as soon as you walk in, you're going to be dazzled. You're going to walk in, there's going to be bookshelves all along the wall. They're going to have these really cool seating areas set up, and there's this nice long bar along the left-hand side where you can get these awesome drinks. And the mixologists or bartenders or whatever you want to call them over there are great. They have shown me so many things. I've got just a plethora of drinks under my belts that I've never heard of. I've had someone make a pistachio drink before, and pistachios are cool, don't get me wrong, but I've never looked at a pistachio and been like, you know what, that would make a great alcoholic drink. I am blown away by some of the things that these guys put together, and that's just as soon as you walk in. So here, let me get a photo of this. So there's the entrance over there. This is a little blown out. That's not a great one. But you can see they've got like this cool arched roof area and whatnot, which honestly, this is purposeful, by the way. I know it's like plastered in a bunch of newspaper articles and things like that of the time frame, which is really cool to look at. But this is really cool because you can see it's right over here. There's the bar. There's the bar seating area, the bar stools and all that. This actually helps dampen a lot of the sound in here because your voice is echoing and bouncing off and around in this area where all the people are sitting at the bar, and it keeps the rest of it very low key. So you can be in the seating areas off to the side here and not have to worry about the bar chatter getting too loud or anything like that. So here's the front of the store. It looks really cute and all that. We're gonna skip over that one, but I'll get back to that. Another shot of the bar area. I want to show. Okay, cool. So yeah, they've got like these cool seating areas, and there's like a table here and everything. So you can have like an intimate setting at a public area. It's a really cool date area as well. If you're trying to impress somebody, take them there. But like you can see, they've got all kinds of liquor and drink setups. They've got everything you can imagine. They'll char stuff and smoke stuff. They'll mix, shake, stir. They've got everything they need and then some. And one of the really cool things, let me go up to the very beginning again because I want to show you guys this. This bookshelf right here, or actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, it is this bookshelf right here, is not just a bookshelf. It's also a door to a stairway, and it goes in two directions. One goes up and one goes down. The one that goes down will take you into that picture that I skipped earlier right here. This is where the actual speakeasy portion of the speakeasy is, and they have another full bar down here and everything. The vibe's a little different, so it's less bookstore-esque like this one. This is the ground floor one, and it's more like this, so it's like this underground bar kind of thing, and it's a really cool setup. They also have like these, you can't see it in this photo, but on the other side they have like this cool seating area with these curtains and everything, so you get like a nice intimate setting. And one thing that they probably don't have any photos of yet, and I said there was another staircase that goes up, is because they actually just recently added, oh, here's the outside of the speakeasy portion. Oh, I clicked on something. All right, well, I can't show it to you, but that cool lit up staircase thing, if you did, there it is. This is the outside of the speakeasy portion, so you can get to it from the outside as well, but you do need a code to get in, and the code is posted, I believe, on their Facebook page, but it's a riddle. So they give you a riddle. It'll be something like, oh, I don't know, like maybe a limerick from Aesop's Fables, and it's like, who wrote this? And you have to look it up or something like that in order to get in. So kind of an exclusivity thing. So here's the bookshelf right here. This one right here turns into a door and everything. But one thing that they did end up adding, so if here on the outside, this is the ground floor. There's the speakeasy underground here. They recently ended up renovating these two floors right here. Now, this floor right here got turned into kind of an event center thing. It has a bar and seating area, but it's more open, so you can reserve it and have catering setup and everything like that. So if you have like a corporate event or whatever, you can do all of that there. But this top floor, they turned into a cigar lounge, which is really cool. So they've got like this whole wall of cigars on one side, and they still have the bar and everything at the end of it, but it's a very different vibe. And every single floor is like a completely different area, but it's also all part of one place. And this is what I mean when I say, like, because you can obviously see it. A lot of people in Fort Worth, I know whenever they heard Thompson's bookstore was the hidden gem, probably rolled their eyes at me, because a lot of people do know about it, but there's still so many people, even local people, that don't know really what this place is about. And I highly advise you to go check it out. Even if you're just visiting, go check this place out. But this is my hidden gem, and when I say don't ruin it earlier, it's small. Like, the venue is not huge, it's just the length of this building right here on each floor, and it's fairly narrow, so it does get overcrowded. Don't bring like huge parties here because you won't have room for it. Yeah. Oh, this guy's really cool. Yeah, he stopped working there, but yeah, they're all just phenomenal mixologists and whatnot. Yeah, definitely a place you want to go check out. But like I said, not huge, so don't go bringing giant parties here or any crazy stuff, because this is a very low-key establishment. But if this is something you're looking for, this is definitely the place to be. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today. I appreciate you watching to the end of the video. Go ahead and leave us a like or a dislike, it doesn't matter, just interact with the video. Hit the bell, subscribe, leave a comment, do all that YouTube stuff for me if you would. And you know, if I know I can't cover everything in Fort Worth, there's so much. I had to cut so much stuff out of this video just to make it a reasonable length. So if there's anything that I missed, please put it in the comments. The reason we do this video is to help people who are coming in from out of state, out of city, out of country, and your comments actually really do help. We read them, we try to respond to all of the ones that we can, even the less than savory ones, but it's nice to have a local perspective from other people as well. So if you want to help out the local community and the not so local community, go ahead, leave your opinion down in the comments on what I missed, what I could have done better on, like what you want to see a video on. That'd be really cool too, because that helps out us, and all this interaction helps out us. It helps out the channel, and it lets us know what you guys actually want to see. But otherwise, remember guys, if you're looking to buy or sell, keep calm and call Tom.